Welcome to Ed's Eats. I'm Ed McFarland, the chef owner of Ed's Lobster Bar, and today we're going to make a simple fish and chips. Once again, I always stress simple. However, most of you could be fearful of making French fries at home, or how your potatoes are going to turn out, or if you have a slicer and you want to make potato chips. We're not going to do any of those things today. We're going to make fish and chips with potato pancakes. To the tartar sauce. I'm going to drop them right in, and I'm a big fan of really chunky tartar sauce. The ratio I use is 1 to 1 to 1 on volume of caper, cornichon, and red onion. And that's going to make a really nice chunky tartar sauce. And just a little bit of lemon juice, sprinkle of pepper. I don't add any salt to this because the cornichon and caper are already salty. So I'm gonna mix that around. You can see this is super chunky. You can add a little extra mayonnaise to this if you want. I certainly wouldn't use less. So there's our tartar sauce, and see how nice and chunky that tartar sauce is? Okay, we're gonna put that aside and let that chill while we do everything else. So for the potato pancakes, we have our box grater, our potatoes, our onion, a bowl, our egg, and a little bit of flour. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grate everything, and I'm going to grate directly into the bowl. You can grate onto a piece of wax paper, onto parchment paper, whatever is working for you. Don't be too concerned about the water shooting out of the potato in your face, and if you saw me making a face, that's because the water from the potato was splashing at me. I'm going to show you squeezing the water out of the potato. I'm going to squeeze it into this little bowl so you really get an idea of how much water is in the potato. You can do this in a towel, a kitchen towel. You see all the water coming out of there? You definitely want to make sure that you're squeezing the water out of the potato. Very important. So we still need the box grater for the onion, and I'm probably going to use about half the onion for this amount of potato, maybe a quarter. So I'm going to cut the onion in half, reserve the onion on the side for something else, and on the same side, I'm going to grate the onion. Next part, we're going to season with salt and pepper. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour in here. You're probably going to use maybe a teaspoon to a tablespoon of flour. Not too much flour. We're going to crack in 1 egg. And we're going to mix this around really well. We're going to put that on the side. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to quickly make our beer batter, which doesn't take much time at all. We have our flour. We have a whisk. We're going to put in a little bit of salt and pepper into the flour. I'm going to quickly mix that around so it's in there. Combined, we're going to add this to a mixing bowl. Crack all 3 eggs into the flour. Add our beer. Whisk this around, and that's how easy it is to make a beer batter at home. And you can do this for fish, shrimp, chicken, whatever you want a beer batter. And you'll see it's going to be pretty thick. If you need to thin it out a little bit, you can add a little bit of water to it, or a little bit of milk. And this is going to allow the fish to get really nicely coated and steam inside the batter as it's cooking. We have our pan getting hot with oil. And while we're doing this, I'm also heating up the oil in a sauce pot to fry our beer batter fish for our fish and chips. And I want to show that you can fry the fish and chips at home on top of your stove as opposed to just using a deep fryer. So for our potato pancakes, well, let's just do a little test in the pan. And you see the pan starting to sizzle, so we're ready to go. And I like to keep them a little bit on the flatter side. So here's what we're gonna do, just a little bit in our hand here, and some edging is great. We're gonna season these with a little bit of salt and pepper after they're done as well. And these are gonna be fantastic with the tartar sauce also. You don't need sour cream and applesauce to eat potato pancakes. The tartar sauce that we made is gonna go perfect with them. So you can see the pan's nice and hot so they're not sticking. You can take your spatula and kind of just slide it underneath also, or push it around the pan. And that's really important that they're not sticking. And you want to start with a hot saute pan and then turn the flame down and cook them on a medium to low heat after the pan is hot to make sure the potato's cooking all the way through. Another option is when you flip them over, you can put them in the oven once you flip them over to finish cooking. But I do recommend making them thinner as opposed to thicker so the potato cooks all the way through. You can see on our edges are starting to get brown, and that's a good indicator of where we're at in the cooking process on the potato. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead now, right before I'm ready to flip them, and add just a little knob of butter in the pan. That's going to give flavor as well as help create that golden texture. And because I'm on low heat, I'm not concerned about the whole butter burning. There's one here that's ready to flip over. And look how beautiful and golden that looks. So I'm going to leave these cooking on low heat, and we're going to go over to our sauce pot, and we're going to fry our pollock fillet in the beer batter. So for this, I'm going to put a glove on. If you're at home, you can use tongs. I want to really keep my hands clean. So the first thing we want to do is we need to coat our fish with just some plain flour before we put it in the beer batter. And then we're going to go into the beer batter. And this is going to help the coating stay on the fish, and it also helps it separate away from the fish so the fish is steaming inside of the beer batter. I'm going to really make sure we coat it really nice and well. And you see this is pretty messy, so glove or tongs or something to hold the fish. And we're going to go over to our pot, and we're going to drop this right in. And that's going to take about 7 to 10 minutes to cook. And once again, I started on high heat to heat the oil up, and then I turned it down to medium to low heat so we don't burn the fish while it's cooking. So our fish is frying. We're just going to come back and give a quick check on our potatoes, and I'm going to flip these over one more time, and you'll see they're nice and golden on the other side. And I'm doing this really just to make sure that we're getting it cooked all the way through and to avoid having to put them in the oven today. But at this point in time, this would be a good time if you wanted to put them in the oven, if you really weren't positive that they were cooked all the way through. However, I think we're spot on time with our fish, which is frying in the oil right now. The fish is just steaming inside here. This is beautiful. And I'm going to show you one little trick you can do at home to check if your fish is cooked that we wouldn't do in the restaurant, but you don't want to serve raw fish to anybody. So there's a little easy trick to test your fish at home, and on the bottom of it, when we think it's ready, 7 to 10 minutes, we're going to pierce it with a toothpick. And if the toothpick goes in very easy and straight into the fish without resistance, the fish should be cooked in the center. You'll see the toothpick just went straight through. That was about 7 to 10 minutes in our stovetop fryer, and we have this beautiful golden color. That's going to go right on our plate with the potato pancakes. Some of this fantastic tartar sauce. So I'm really excited about this dish. I know that the fish is perfectly steamed inside the beer batter. When I break it open, it's going to be light and flaky and moist. I'm going to get the tartar sauce on there, the saltiness and tanginess from it, the potato pancakes. This is the ultimate home fish and chips.